measure of demarketing? What amount of demarketing can be worse than the president leaving the entire hospital, the hospital that is being equipped with taxpayers' monies every year? Go and check the Nigerian budget. There is a provision for the budget for the presidential for the presidential clinic, where the president is supposed to go and have a medical checkup if in case he have issues. But the president, and every year they have budget for the presidential clinic, presidential hospital, whatever it is that they call it. But anytime the president wants to have a checkup or any issue, he flies out. What demarketing can be worse than that? Peter Obi is demarketing Nigeria. Peter Obi is demarketing Nigeria. How dare he does that? Why is he demarketing Nigeria? Every time he is demarketing Nigeria, he's putting out figures that are unfounded, that are unfair to Nigeria and to Nigerians. That is so bad of him. Governor Sanwo of Lagos State, came out blasting, This is actually the first time we would see Sanwo come out in this manner to speak directly at what Peter Obi says, not necessarily trying to hide under the cloak like other politicians would do and say, please, we should stop the market in Nigeria. He just went straight to Peter Obi, saying it's false. Why would Peter Obi be doing that? All right. Let's hear from the former governor of Abia State, Orji Uzor Kalu. Let's hear what he's got to say regarding this so-called thoughts from Peter Obi while he gave a speech in Johns Hopkins. Or maybe better still, before we even get into what they have to say, because what they have to say is actually irrelevant to some extent. But let me just summarize what Peter Obi says, because again, the video is quite long. For those who want to watch it, I'll probably just put a part of the video that is making some of these politicians convulse. All right, let's summarize it. Peter Obi was actually at Johns Hopkins University in America recently, and honestly, he shook a lot of tables. He didn't just hold back. Obi said Nigeria has completely failed in the last 35 years, while countries like China, Vietnam, and Indonesia have moved far ahead. He revealed that back in 1990, Nigeria actually had a better GDP per capita than China, but today China's economy is now 10 times bigger than Nigeria. He blamed everything on poor leadership, saying Nigeria's problem is not lack of resources, but bad leaders who have no character, no competence, and no compassion. Peter Obi also dropped a serious bombshell. He said Nigerian youths are now being paid just 20,000 naira to insult and attack people online who are actually fighting for their freedom and better future. That is true. Influencers are just the cheapest, frankly speaking. He called it shameful and heartbreaking. He warned that Nigeria now has more people living in poverty than China, Indonesia, and Vietnam combined. And that if serious leadership doesn't emerge, the country is heading towards a very dangerous collapse. Obi also made a strong suggestion that he said Nigeria needs to scrap the idea of 2 presidential terms and introduce just a single 5-year term to force leaders to focus on results, not endless politics and second-term battles. Of course, after his speech, there has been a lot of noise. Some people are accusing him of demarketing Nigeria, while others are praising him for speaking the hard truth that many politicians are afraid of. Anyway, so is it true that what he has just said, that there are now more poor people in Nigeria than there is in Vietnam, China, what's the third country? Vietnam, China, and the third country combined. I'll give you an update on that, because I also saw an analyst, Kayode Otitoju of TVC, castigating Peter Obi, that how would he say that there are more poor people in Nigeria than China, Vietnam, and the other country. I just have to bring out the name of that country so that I'm sure. China, Indonesia, and Vietnam. China, Indonesia, and Vietnam. Kayode Otitoju of TVC accused Peter Obi of giving fake reportage or fake statistics. Because I know I watched that particular episode where he was like, how would you say there are more poor people in China? And he even missed it. Remember, Peter Obi did not mention India. He was specific: Indonesia, Vietnam, and China. There are more poor people in Nigeria more than China, Vietnam, Indonesia combined. But Otitoju, I don't know where Otitoju got his own assertion from and said India. That India is the country with the largest population. China too. How can you say blah 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 blah? I know I watched that episode. It was him that was putting that argument, and I was almost swayed by his conduct. Like, how can? Until I did my own research. I did my own, just a simple research. I didn't go too far. I just asked ChatGPT. Of course, even though we know it's not ChatGPT is not 100%, but I went deeper to ask them to give me a graphic reference and explanation of how Nigeria, more poor people living in Nigeria than these three countries combined, and they give me an outstanding result. Let's and I'll show you what the result is. I will show you and I'll break it down for you. Let's listen to of course the former governor of Abia State, our friend Orji Uzor Kalu.
It's very difficult to see some of our leaders going around America, Europe, Canada, Australia, China, demarketing our country when we're busy looking for investment to pull up the country. People are busy going to tell everybody in Nigeria that nothing is happening in Nigeria. Sure. But how do we bring the people up? We must lift our Nigerians up. The policies of President Ahmed Tinubu is going to work, and it's working, but the problem is that it's not trickling down. The trickling down effect is what is after, and that is why we need continuous investment without stop. This is why we're all over everywhere to bring new investment back to Nigeria so that people can see work, hunger will go, and things will work. I know it's all over the world, it's difficult, but let our leaders come together. We are one family. Tinubu is not the owner of this country. He's just our president, which he will go. Buhari is already in Daura from Kaduna. Tinubu will one day, after 8 years or so, one day be in Lagos, and nobody calls his name. So let us stop demarketing our country. Let us as family come together and work on our economic policies. The essence of opposition is to do the correct things and tell us what is wrong, how we can better the life of the people you want to govern. If it's this way that opposition will be, it means they have nothing to offer Nigeria. We will not have anything from anybody. I'm not a frivolous man. I don't live in politics. I don't play politics. I bring new investments that Nigerian people can have jobs, and people of our country will be committed to it. So I prefer leaders who are speaking the truth to the world than try to malign the country. It's not the right thing to do. Can we change our hearts? Work for the betterment of Nigerian people. Whether you are anybody, let us work the betterment of Nigerian people. The betterment is what we need. Whether we are right or wrong, let Nigerian people be lifted up. That is my own vein of contention. And anybody who do not want to do this is plugging our country into a problem. Can we please rise and work for more investment to the country? Continuous investment. China was once in this position we are today. Vietnam was once in this position. We can overcome, and we will overcome. Because subsidy is a problem all over the world. You can only do food subsidy. You cannot continue subsidizing everything. Since 1960, This is the first time we are trying to tell goodbye to subsidy.
We all know the story about the former the governor of Lagos State, saying that we shouldn't be demarketing like Nigeria and all that. I think there's a difference between demarketing a country and saying what the truth is. My findings show that Nigeria is actually the country, what he said was actually true. What Peter Obi said, that there are more poor people living in Nigeria than there is in Indonesia, Vietnam, and China combined. Go. This one is not me, you research, World Bank research. At least here in Nigeria, we can't trust what we have. But even if we trust what we have, let the person furnish me with an authoritative point of view or something bigger and better than what I have said. I did my own research, simple research. I just asked ChatGPT, please, bring all the resources you have everywhere and anywhere it is. Because if you have something written somewhere and it's not online, you all know that we're not, you're probably not living, within the spheres of human existence. So, and ChatGPT said, yes, it's true. There are more poor people. And brought all these graphics that we're seeing. Look at it. Giving me exactly what it is and how it is, how China even came out from poverty and how we dovetailed into poverty even more. These are facts and statistics. And someone who is staying where they are and say that we are demarketing Nigeria. I think we haven't demarketed Nigeria enough. Because if you don't demarket Nigeria, Nigerian leaders will not learn. I don't understand how difficult it is. I keep saying this thing, that leadership is not rocket science. I don't know. I don't want to swear, but guy, leadership is not rocket science. You are elected as a leader to manage the resources you have, to make sure that it is better off for people who live within the confines of your territory. How difficult can it be? How difficult can it be? How difficult can it be to make life better? Why is it that governance in Nigeria is antithetical to the success and the growth of its citizens? Why is it like that in Africa? Abroad, you are gauged by your policies, your programs, and when it is not doing well in the wealth of the people of the country that you lead, they kick you out. But here, you are asked to shut up. Even whether your policies are working or not working is our turn. We have to finish our turn no matter what. No, please. No, people are not slaves. They have the right to speak and speak out their mind. What measure of demarketing, what amount of demarketing can be worse than the president leaving the entire hospital, the hospital that is being equipped with taxpayers' monies every year? Go and check the Nigerian budget. There is a provision for the budget for the presidential for the presidential clinic, where the president is supposed to go and have a medical checkup if in case he have issues. But the president, and every year they have budget for the presidential clinic, presidential hospital, whatever it is that they call it. But anytime the president wants to have a checkup or any issue, he flies out. What demarketing can be worse than that? What demarketing can be worse than flying abroad every 6 months or even less to go and check yourself? What demarketing can be worse than that? Tell me what demarketing of a country can be worse than that. And then we're saying Peter Obi is demarketing. Peter Obi is dropping you. It's for me, that thing is inspiring. If I were the president of the country, it's inspiring. Instead of looking at the every time we're looking at the bad side of everything, that thing he said is inspiring. Oh, more poor people. Okay, Minister for Poverty or Alleviation, getting one, come. How many people have we brought out of poverty since we started? He tells you numbers, which of course it's actually false. More people have gotten into poverty under this government than there was under Buhari. We were even crying under Buhari, but this person has made matters even worse. So where is the demarketing coming from? How is he demarketing the country? So start telling the world what they know, giving speeches abroad and speaking truth to power and comparing countries years back and projecting for future and speaking what it is now demarketing the country and is now a problem to the political leadership of this country. Make this make sense. If we are not really a country of people who don't even have direction, tell me why that would even be a problem. That would have been a propeller for anybody to go and do more to push people out of poverty. I would have thought that the president would come and say, look, Peter Obi, I will show you my scorecard by May 29, 2025. At least in the next few weeks, you show me my scorecard, the amount of persons who were in poverty in 2023, the amount of persons I'm pulling out of poverty, 2 years on. I would have thought that he would have responded that, but no. You are sending Sanwo to come and speak and blast Peter Obi. So that what will happen? And then you see Orji Kalu saying it's not about demarketing Nigeria. It's about and ask him what did he do while he was governor of his state in Abia? Somebody who has gone to jail. That guy's case is not even my problem. I'll just have to leave it there for now. But let me know what you think in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. Thank you.